Welcome to Our Candy Rose for those who stay, a grief and soul journey podcast in loving memory of my daughter, Candace Rose Olson, who lived from 2007 to 2025. For those who stay, we remember, your life will not be in vain. Everything we do will be in your name. I am Dina, and this is our story, and maybe it's yours too. There are moments in life when pain feels so sharp, so relentless, that the idea of purpose feels almost insulting. When grief hits, when loss knocks the breath out of us, the world keeps moving as if nothing happened. And we're left wondering, what do I do with all this pain? I remember the days after losing Candace, every part of me felt hollow. I didn't want to think about purpose or lessons or silver linings. I just wanted her back. And honestly, I still do every day. Purpose didn't erase the pain. It never will. But slowly, in very small and fragile ways, I began to notice the pain itself was pointing me somewhere deeper. I don't believe purpose cancels pain, but I do believe sometimes purpose can grow out of it. And yet, even in the sharpest ache, something began whispering to me. Viktor Frankl once said, in some ways, suffering ceases to be suffering at the very moment it finds meaning. Take that for however you want. But that quote has stayed with me personally, not because it takes away grief, but because it reminds me that even in the darkness, there may still be threads of light. Sometimes that meaning is small, a sign on a walk, a song that plays at just the right moment, or the way the morning sun filters through the trees when you least expect it. Sometimes it's bigger, the way someone is helped because you chose to share your story, or the way your child's memory becomes a force of love in the world. For me, Candace continues to be a thread. Her life, though too short, is still unfolding through mine. Through this podcast, through our Candy Rose event, through the way I keep saying her name. This past week, I met a fellow veteran who lost her son 2 years ago. He was 16, and it was a tragic accident as well. And not the same way that Candace passed, but still unexpected and just earth-shattering for her and her family. And to be able to share that with both of us, just looking at each other with comfort and love and acceptance, and it's just so refreshing, to not to know that somebody is there suffering with you, like in silence, but to use the opportunity to grow our community. So she's doing great things in his name, and I'm doing great things in Candace's name. So to use our platforms to build this into something greater, so that someday our voices will make a difference, even if it's in one person's life, or another mother, father, sister, cousin, anybody close to someone who's struggling or struggling themselves, or even dealing with the struggle of grief after such tragedy. So please show grace and kindness to everyone, because you don't know what they're going through. I mean, I didn't know until I saw the necklace around her neck that had her son's remains in it. It just puts things in perspective, right? Just care for each other. You don't know what they're going through, regardless of age. I mean, we're the same age. She was 39, and we both lost children that were just so young, and it's just so hard to wrap our heads around. So if you're in a season of suffering, I want to tell you this. You do not have to force yourself to find meaning today. Searching itself is meaningful. The very act of asking, what could this teach me? What purpose could still grow here? That act is already a step towards life again. But meaning isn't always about big revelations. Sometimes it lives in the small daily ways we choose to carry on. One of the hardest parts about grief is that it demands so much energy just to survive every day. So how do we root purpose into our days when the answers aren't clear, when we don't have the strength to do something big, you know? Even today, like doing the podcast, I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel big anymore, you know? Like it just feels like my Sunday routine, but it's still providing therapy for me, you know? Like getting on here, plugging everything in. It still seems a little foreign to me because this is still all new, but every week it's like, oh, okay, I don't need to like step by step go through the process of, okay, what was I need to do next. Now it's just kind of like I come into a quiet, safe space and set everything up, and then, you know, kind of review what I'm going to talk about and go from there. Sometimes I have to stop the video and start all over again because I'm not really understanding the whole editing thing yet. I mean, I'll get there. So yes, thank you for bearing with me. So yes, the energy that it takes just to put on a face, take a shower in the morning, brush my hair. You know, I mean, some Sundays, maybe in the future, like I might just come on here in pajamas. Who knows? But that's just where I'm going to be at that day. Again, no judgment, just love. So for me, the little things, whispering her name during my walks, tying movement and breath into remembrance, beginning the morning with affirmations, grounding myself before the day begins, you know, listening to music to kind of like set my day. Then sending a thinking of you text, nurturing friendships while carrying grief, learning how to bake. I'm not a big, you know, cook. I don't do that daily or weekly or, you know, like I just do short, you know, easy meals really. But trying something new, like we did, you know, I call them wild rose cupcakes in Candace's memory the week of her birthday. And those were really good. They were like a bourbon peanut butter chocolate cupcake, and Bella and I were FaceTiming while I was doing it. I kind of felt like I was doing a cooking show with Bella. It was so cute. To my famous Mama Do's meatloaf that Candace loved. And even this week, you know, or more recently, we've been throwing around different mac and cheese recipes, you know, so we've tried two completely different styles, and they're both absolutely phenomenal. Brian has really, you know, he really pulls it off in the kitchen, so I'm very grateful. And so that just brings us comfort at home, which is really sweet. Designing cozy spaces for our living area, candles, soft blankets, you know, and keeping Candace near. I don't know if you can see her right up here. And that's just a little bit of her that I like to carry with me. Like when we went to Colorado, I had her in my little backpack when we went up the mountain and stuff, you know, so I felt like she was traveling with us, which is very nice. But yes, she's with us during each podcast as well. And let's see, what else do I have in my notes here? Offering kindness in everyday encounters, holding the door, sharing a smile, or speaking a gentle word. Creating community through our Candy Rose event and sharing our story with people that, you know, just calling your name, like that lovely lady I met this week. Where even small details like, you know, people that donated water were there, the Casey Pet Project was there, our t-shirts that people were sporting there, like it's just everything, just really special. Everyone that came together, and I mean, I could go on and on about the support that we received for that event. Just endless. Her friends as well, you know, that showed up and stayed, even though it was like everyone was just hot and sweaty, but it was worth it. Like the police officers and fire department that came, that walked the trail as well. It was just like really, really powerful. And I just hope that we get to connect frequently and even potentially, you know, like talking at schools about, you know, bringing awareness and things like that to these struggles. So purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be small, steady acts of love that ripple outward. Even just getting out of bed, like I was saying earlier, even just breathing through another day can be an act of purpose when you're in the middle of pain. And purpose isn't permanent. It shifts within us. Some days it feels strong and clear. Other days it feels like it's hiding. And both are completely okay. What matters is staying open to it, allowing purpose to meet you where you're at. So sometimes, just doing what I had already planned to do is enough. Sometimes it feels overwhelming because there's just so much change going on in our lives. But sometimes I get bursts of energy and I want to do more. Like, what else can I do, you know? So we'll see what we do in the future, but my village that we have is just so powerful and great. I'm just really excited for our next step, wherever that takes us. Maybe North Carolina. Let's see. So let's do a little reflection. I'd like to leave you with this for this week. If you feel ready, find a quiet space, maybe light a candle, take 5 minutes or even just a few breaths, and ask yourself gently, what gives me a sense of purpose today in this exact season of my life? Don't think about forever. Don't pressure yourself for a complete answer. Just name the small seeds of purpose you feel right now. Maybe it's family, maybe it's community, maybe it's creativity, maybe it's simply survival today, and that's okay. Whatever rises to the surface is absolutely enough. You are enough. So as I close this episode, I want to remind you the pain you feel does not mean your life has lost meaning. Searching for purpose in the middle of pain is itself a sacred act. For me, I root into purpose by remembering Candace, by saying her name, by choosing to keep going even on the days it feels absolutely impossible. This is my way of honoring her. And that can be your way too, or find your own, you know, whatever feels natural for you. To honor what or who you love by living one more day with intention. So take this with you. Purpose is not about erasing pain. It's about finding ways to live with it, to grow around it, and to let love guide you through it. Thank you for being here, for staying, for listening. Until next time, may your days be gentle and may your love guide your steps. For those who stay, we remember your life will not be in vain. Everything we do will be in your name.